Hi everyone, I'm Bobby Nalene, and I'm going to kind of give a broad overview of the different types of services that academic advisors provide to DMACC students. Before I get started, I want you to keep the word support in mind, because really everything that advisors do is with the main goal in mind of providing support. So we provide support in a whole lot of different ways, from meeting with prospective students about specific programs, maybe just students who are just thinking about coming to DMACC, all the way to helping a student apply for graduation after they've completed all of their degree requirements, and a lot of different steps in between that phase. So specifically, we do sort of the traditional things that you think of for an advisor: helping students register for classes, decide which classes to take, helping students understand what specifically are your program requirements. That's a really big piece of what we do, and that's one of the just really important things as a student, is understanding, what do I need to do, what are my degree requirements, and that's not always an easy thing. So advisors can help you navigate that process and really understand the specifics of your degree. We help students plan for transferring, right? And sometimes a student might have a specific transfer destination in mind, and sometimes they're in the process of deciding among a few different options. So we can help you navigate that process. The sort of technical aspect of registering for classes. How do I use web info system? Things like that. Sort of the technical side of things as well. Back to the admission side, some programs have very specific admission requirements, and having conversations about exactly what do you need to do to start a particular program is a lot of what we do as well. So nursing, for example, you can't just walk in and start the nursing program. There's a lot of details that have to happen before you can start a program like that. So we help students navigate those technical things. We also provide support maybe when things aren't going perfectly. So you might have a rough semester, and we help get you back on track. We help provide support, again, that word, support along the way, whether things are going really well or you've hit a rough patch. Advisors are sort of in your corner, there to lend a hand for just a really wide variety of reasons. Part of that, when things aren't necessarily going well, understanding policies and procedures that can be a little bit complicated is a big part of our job as well. So how do you appeal a final grade if you think maybe your instructor didn't give you the grade you deserved? How do you drop a class if you missed the deadline but you have an extenuating circumstance where you believe you should be able to still drop that class? So some of those sort of less glamorous sides, where when things are tough and you need a support system, again, advisors fill that role as well. Talked earlier about graduation. If you don't already know, now's a good time for you to find out. You don't just automatically graduate after you complete all of your degree requirements. There's a process. There's a form that you fill out. And that is a thing that towards the end of a student's time at DMACC, when they're feeling like they're getting close to graduating, it's really good to touch base with an advisor, not just at that point, but throughout. One of the things that, from where I sit as an advisor, that ends up becoming frustrating, not just for the student, but for me as an advisor, is when a person says, when they're missing really important information that could have been discovered had they met with an advisor earlier on. So that's sort of hearing this now is really good for you, because you don't want to arrive to a point where you feel like you're getting ready to graduate, and you're thinking in your mind that you've only got maybe 1 or 2 semesters left, only to find out that you took the wrong classes. You had a few classes that didn't work in a category that you thought maybe they were going to work. And that kind of thing happens with some regularity. So meeting with an advisor, it could be as easy as just touching base for 10 minutes to say, hey, am I on track with my degree requirements? Am I signing up for the right classes? So it doesn't always have to be an hour-long appointment. it can be as easy as just a quick touching base moment. A few tips kind of related to that. That I always kind of try to teach these things as I work with students, especially for the first time, to understand the nature of that time that you spend with an advisor. There's a few factors to think about. One is when you're thinking to yourself, I think I should meet with an advisor. The first question you might ask yourself is, who do I meet with? Is there a particular advisor? The way our structure works, just about any advisor on Ankeny's campus or any campus can help a student who is pursuing a liberal arts degree, whether it's AA or AS or the AGS degree. So we're all generalists. We can all help with that program. But if you're in a program that's very specific, for example, nursing or criminal justice, which is one of the programs I work with, it makes a lot of sense to seek out the advisor that specializes in your program. So on the website, when you go to the Find an Advisor link, that will tell you specifically which advisors focus on which programs. So if you're wondering, gosh, who is my advisor? Who is the advisor that works with the Business Information Systems program? You can go to that website and find that out. And that's a really good person to connect with. They're going to be the most prepared to help you with your specific program. Again, if you're liberal arts, we can all help. But if you have a specific program, a specific focus, it makes sense to meet with the advisor who is most expert in that area. Now, with that being said, you might have a question that isn't related specifically to your program. It's just a general advising need. And in that case, by all means, meet with anyone who's available to help. So that's one thing. Who is my program advisor is a good question. The second thing that you would think about is, should I do a walk-in or should I schedule an appointment? If your advising question is at all complex, and meaning it will take longer than 10 or 15 minutes to sort out or talk through with an advisor, you should really consider scheduling an appointment. You can do that by stopping at your campus location's front desk. On Ankeny's campus, it's Building 1. They can get you an appointment with an advisor. Or at any campus, you can call 515-964-6200, press 0 to speak with the information desk, and they can help you get an appointment scheduled. Again, if it's anything that's going to take longer than 10 or 15 minutes, that's a really good idea. Now, we do also have walk-in services available. So if you do just have a quick question and you don't want to schedule an appointment a week later, you can just pop in and get that question answered. The downside is you might have to wait a little bit depending on how much traffic there is that day. But walk-in service is the way that a lot of students go for those short-term, quick questions that you just need a quick answer to. So that works as well. The third thing that really helps an advising appointment is if you know your resources early on. So specifically, things like the types of things you learn about at orientation, program information brief. Every single program has a document that outlines exactly what the requirements are, the things that you need to be thinking about along the way. Programs also have tracking forms to kind of go along with those PIBs or program information briefs. Those are things to really hang on to and consider really good resources. So as opposed to going into an advising appointment and say, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor, please tell me what to take. The more that you are connected and the more you understand what your requirements are, the better off it is for you in the long run, because then you're not going to be surprised along the way. So always be working to develop an understanding of what it is that you need to accomplish for your particular program. We're here to help with that, but we're not here to do that for you completely. Does that make sense? I'm seeing your head nod. Yes, that makes sense. I'm asking the camera a question. Okay. The fourth thing, very much related to that, is to go to that advising session prepared. And that might just be as simple as, what questions do I have? What do I really want to accomplish in this advising session? Whether it's a walk-in or an appointment that you've scheduled, you should really have in mind your agenda for that meeting. What do I need to ask? What are the things that I'm really wanting to get out of this? It kind of helps the meeting really fulfill your goals if you haven't those goals in mind in advance. And then a really, really important concept that is important to me and something really to keep in mind, and it's kind of a different concept compared maybe to high school, is this: I advise you decide. Okay, so this is hanging in my office. If you're ever meeting with me, you'll see this. And really the purpose of that philosophy is to help you as a student understand that advisors are here to give advice. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to give you specific directions and say you have to take this, or you have to do this, or you have to have this number of credits. Most of the decisions are very flexible to some degree, so you get to make decisions along the way, and that's a really important thing to keep in mind. You know, sometimes a student will sit down with the expectation of, tell me what to do. And that's not our role. Our role is to help you understand options. Our role is to help you understand the areas where you have flexibility to make decisions, and also to understand where are the requirements along the way. But generally speaking, most degrees have a high degree of flexibility. So having that idea in mind that you get to decide the way you go about things in most degree programs is something to really start thinking about, so that you can get this feeling of taking ownership for your education. And again, that's a big part of our role, is helping you understand that and helping you understand where in your route, in your education, do you get to have that flexibility and opportunity to take those, make those decisions. So again, I love my little bumper sticker. I advise you decide. Very important concept. General couple FAQs, frequently asked questions that I get. I addressed one already. How do I make an appointment? That number again, 964-6200. Press 0 to talk with the operator. How do I know who I should meet with? We talked about that. There's the Find the Advisor tab on the website, so that you know specifically who your program advisor is. Another common question is, how often should I meet with an advisor? And really the answer to that is, it depends. It's a good idea generally to plan on at least once a semester to kind of touch base, see how things are going. But some students do that, some don't. So it really truly is up to you about how often you want to meet, how often you need to meet with an advisor. It's different for each individual student, so you kind of get to decide, how often do I need that support along the way. Really the other question that I get a lot is, can I register for classes without meeting with an advisor? And the answer is yes, you can. And in some cases, that's a really good idea. You know, as registration dates open up, it's a good idea to hop into WebInfo System, get registered for what you believe are the classes that you need, and then follow up within a day or two, whether it's an appointment or a walk-in, meet with an advisor and say, hey, I've scheduled my next semester. How does this look? Does this look like I'm on track? And then if not, you can make adjustments very easily with help from an advisor. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to meet with an advisor to do that initial registration, because you can always make adjustments. So again, that gives you kind of a big picture overview of what advisors do. And if you just remember one word from this spiel, is that word support. We provide support in a lot of different ways at all steps throughout the process. So from coming in the first day and saying, hey, I kind of want to learn about this program, I'm thinking of coming to DMACC, to the day before you graduate, we're here every step along the way. And we are a wonderful support. And it's a support that it's up to you to access, right? So seek us out, schedule an appointment, do a walk-in, connect with us in the way that you need to connect, and let us support your educational journey. Nice to meet you all. And again, my name is Bobby, and I look forward to meeting some of you, hopefully sometime soon. Thank you.